it's hard to predict the timing, but I think we're certainly in the early stages of a bull market at this point. Typically the bull market cycle lasts for a certain period after the halving, and so we're still in the early innings. I think there's very stiff inflows from ETFs buying about 2 times the Bitcoin mined per day, MicroStrategy and the other Bitcoin treasury companies buying another 2 times, and the retail buyers and dollar-cost average investors. So really there's a lot of inflow. I think temporarily there's some consolidation because some earlier investors, sort of midterm investors, profit taking. But that overlay would set us up for a price where you start to see Bitcoin competing with gold, perhaps pulling money out of gold ETFs into Bitcoin ETFs. And then, of course, if the treasuries come in, like the sovereign treasuries, the Bitcoin reserves, that would be something where you'd see sovereign competition. As soon as one of the bigger countries jumps in, I think the others will feel forced to follow suit. So that would, all bets would be off if that happens. Now, of course, institutional adoption, I think the family offices are faster, more agile, but the institutions are in play. You can see that the ETF 13F filings, which shows you the institutions that have bought Bitcoin via the ETFs, is about 30% institutional. I think there's a lot more capital in the institutional space of pension funds and mutual funds, so there's a lot of room for capital to come in this cycle and into the next cycle.
There you have from Adam Beck, and he's sitting here telling you the current state of the market, and the bull market is not over with yet. Could we see more downwards price action? Yes, but once again, we've told you that's putting in higher lows, so relax. Dollar cost average and keep stacking stats and keep your mind focused in the crypto space. With that, what's happening, Crypto Crew? Sean's coming back at you, another cryptocurrency video.
Hey guys, sorry for the quick interruption, but if you're interested in trading MicroStrategy options, any other stock out there, Bitcoin, Solana, or any other crypto out there, you can now do that on MooMoo. And if you sign up with our affiliate link, which we pin in the comment section, also in the description below, when you sign up and deposit any amount, you're going to receive up to 20 free stocks, and each one of these stocks could be valued at up to $2,000. So make sure to sign up with MooMoo. Go get that free money. Now let's go ahead and get back to the video.
And to get straight into it, taking a look at what's going on, state Bitcoin reserve race as of February 19th. So almost half of the country is talking about doing a strategic Bitcoin reserve. Understand what this means. And you see right here, Utah is in committee number 2, not enacted yet, but it is around the corner. So when this starts, we hope that you're prepared. And Binance founder CZ says countries can buy Bitcoin after the US government's done buying or before. There is no other choice because the US will start buying. Right here, you see what's going on with the states. Don't be surprised if the strategic Bitcoin reserve at the federal government and state level gets enacted all around the same time. And then here, Samson Mao, it seems like there's some sort of price suppression of Bitcoin. If you look at the price movement, we peak and then we stay steady and trade sideways. And it's good. You can say it's consolidation, but it just looks very manufactured. So get into the price. What do we see at the current time it's recording? Bitcoin's coming in at 93.6K. What do we see? What do we anticipate? So we could be seeing this macro wedge pattern that we've just been trading down in. And right here, been holding this level around the 92. The bigger question is we are above the 20 moving average. Bull market support band on the 3-day is looking like it is definitely on an uptrend. Could we come back down and retest this? Could we blast up? One thing to pay attention to in this chart. So if we look back here, when the candle was right here, what do we see? What do we anticipate? So we see that the RSI put in a lower low. And so we bottomed out here on this 92 range, but look right here. Look what happened. When we put this lower low in, the price action then put in a higher low. So this is a bullish divergence. This is what we were waiting for. We're looking for some type of divergence indication, and historically this is going to have a continuation to the upside. This is going to have a blast up and put in new all-time highs. Now, could we get a breakdown? Yes, that's not out the cards yet, but as you see right here, this trends your friend to the end. bullish divergence, you can't make it up. And to look at some opportunities in the market, Semler's NAV multiple is low at 1.93 compared to its short history as a Bitcoin treasury company, and it's roughly in line with MicroStrategy at 1.97. So what's that mean? That means MicroStrategy versus Semler, you're seeing strategy enterprise value versus, you're just seeing that this is still trading around the same levels. It oscillates right now between 1.5 and 2.5. Will we get a massive blast off into 3-4 NAV values? We'll see that sooner rather than later. MicroStrategy, or strategy at the current time it's recording, is trading around 320. We fell off a cliff. We were all the way up to about almost 340, came down $20 today. Will we see lower price action when the market opens? Taking a look here, we've showed this on the macro, what we got to look for, we got to pay attention to, but let's look on the daily. We see any divergences here as well. So we look here, a low is here, and right now this higher low, there's no divergences as of yet. And if we get rid of this Gaussian support channel, we can see that we are just right at the same level of the bull market support band. So the bigger question is will we hold this level, or will we fall through it and come down and test lower ranges? Obviously, it's indicative on what Bitcoin does, but either way you cut the cloth, dollar cost averaging and hodling for dear life is the route to go. Without further ado, let's hear from Lawrence Lepard and what he's talking about with the next big print and the current state of the economy. Let's hear from Larry.
The money is in the the money's broken. We know that, fundamentally broken. Yeah. But it's we might be transitioning from the gradually phase into the suddenly phase. I mean, we're kind of at the cusp, in my opinion.
So let's talk about that.
Yeah.
February 10th, 25. I saw the Fed's reverse repo facility is almost tapped out. So It looks like money printing is about to start again.
It has to.
There's so many problems in the world. Like, we've noticed, like, a lot of people we know all over the world complaining about rising crime.
Oh, really? Yeah.
That seems to be something that's probably related, right? People becoming more desperate, basically. What do you expect to see over the next 5-10 years as far as the money printing game goes? Do you think we're going into another acute crisis and then we'll have another big QE? Or?
Yeah, I don't want to get too dark. And some people have read the Mandibles. I'm sure you have. And
I haven't read it, but I'm familiar with the thesis.
I mean, I hope we don't go there. Look, I'm very comfortable saying I think that we have a lot of inflation in the future, and people are going to have to learn to live with that and need to protect themselves from it. How bad? That's debatable. The book talks about kind of probability weightings on all the possible outcomes with respect to inflation. The crime, I think you're right. I mean, I think for the upper 10% of the country, they don't even notice what's going on. They're generally fiat based and doing pretty well. I think for the bottom half of the country, everybody is really badly hurting, and even in the middle section, people are pretty badly hurting, and that's sad. I don't interact. I live in a pretty nice area. I don't interact with these people on a daily basis. I have a sister who lives in a rural area that's very middle class, and she tells me the stories, and I'm just horrified by how tough it is for a lot of these people. So where's it going to go? I don't really know. I mean, the best case, I think, is that we would do a monetary reset of some type. And we would go back to sound money. I mean, if you want to kind of cut to the chase of the quick and correct solution, money being broken has happened in history many, many times, over hundreds of years, over thousands of years. And when it happens, what happens, if a society then decides we are going to go back to money that is not broken, we're going to return to sound money, things will self-organize and get better, much better, quickly. Really quickly, actually. But that choice has to be made. You can't wish that it's going to happen without making that choice. I mean, you're either on a sound money standard or you're printing and on a fiat standard. And the outcomes under the two are substantially different.